The Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency has presented its 2019 annual flood outlook during its stakeholders workshop. The Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, in his keynote address, said this year's annual flood outlook is the seventh in the series, with the theme, The Role of Efficient Hydrological Services in National Development. Adamu said flood and other vagaries of nature are inevitable, but measures should be taken to mitigate damages. And the federal government, through Ministry of Water Resources, has undertaken fundamental initiatives to manage river flows within the country.
As we are all aware, flood and other vagaries of nature are inevitable. These may be exacerbated by the actions of man, as can be observed by the climate change phenomenon being experienced worldwide in the moment. We may not be in a position to stop their occurrence. However, it behoves us to manage these extremes in such a manner that their deleterious effects are mitigated and become less devastating. It is the primary focus of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to be pivotal in the improvement of the lives of Nigerians through the availability of water that is wholesome, adequate, and timely through the management of the country's water resources in a sustainable manner. Therefore, the flow of water must be controlled to make it less destructive or totally inconsequential for socio-economic development of the nation. This has been achieved through construction of dams, reservoirs, artificial lakes, barriers, and other structural measures and controls, as well as non-structural measures such as floodplain mapping and sensitization. We will also be working in partnership with the riparian countries of the rivers Niger and Benue, as well as the Lake Chad Basin Commission, to control the releases from dams in such a way not to cause havoc in Nigeria. We have regional bodies such as the Niger Basin Authority, the Lake Chad Basin Commission, Nigeria-Cameroon Joint Commission, as well as Nigeria-Benin Joint Commission, that are all facilitating the pursuance of shared visions and effective management and useful utilization of the shared water resources.
In a press conference, he urged citizens to heed to the warnings of the agency in order to avert some of the disasters.
The 2019 annual flood outlook is an added impetus to the government's change agenda to better the lives of Nigerians by serving as an early warning to people and communities located in and near floodplains and other vulnerable areas to put in place the necessary actions that will ameliorate the adverse effects of flood to lives and property.
The Director General of NIHSA, Engineer Clement Nze, said almost 600 local government areas in Nigeria are under threat of flood in 2019 and appealed to Nigerians to take the warnings of the agency seriously. Nze, during the press conference, explained the difference between urban and river flooding.
Urban flooding is caused by rainfall, sudden rainfall of heavy amount and of very short duration. The ground could not drink the whole thing, and it is coming torrentially over a short period of time. Now that is what causes urban flooding. When the flood tries to find a way to move, it doesn't find anywhere. It begins to pull down buildings, bridges, and all whatnot. But it's not easy to predict it. But river flooding, you can predict it to a high level of accuracy because we have equipment along the river channels in Nigeria, rivers Niger and Benue, and the major tributaries. We know what is happening. We know what is coming in from outside Nigeria. River Niger traverses about 7 countries: Guinea, Mali, Niger, Benin, then Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso, then Nigeria. Then on the River Benue side, we have Cameroon and Chad. Whatever happens from there enters River Benue, and they all move down to Nigeria. Nigeria is at the receiving end of all these bases. Whatever happens to all these countries will eventually come to Nigeria. So we can predict it. We can tell you the evolution, how it is moving, when it will arrive. What it is left for Nigeria or people, states, and stakeholders to take very seriously, our predictions to avert it.
In a goodwill message from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, the Director General, Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi, represented by Engineer Melody Misau, said the AFO has over the years become one of the useful early warning tools that could be used to avert flooding across the country. He appealed to all stakeholders involved in the management of disaster associated with downpour and flooding to strive to prevent flooding rather than always manage its occurrences.
The AFO has over the years come to be one of the useful early warning tools that could be used to avert flooding across the country, thereby minimizing the catastrophes in terms of loss of lives, property, and other investments that would ensure if such a tool was not available. Let me advise that with the manner climate change events are unfolding globally, whereby a number of predictions are upturned, it will not be enough to present the AFO and then sit back to watch events unfold. Since the outlook is only a prediction, it becomes necessary for NIHSA to institute a mechanism whereby all stakeholders are engaged and tasked to continuously monitor and report on serious deviations that go counter to the predictions so that necessary measures are put in place to mitigate against such deviations and the unwanted effects that may occur. The country now has adequate early warning tools in the SRP and AFO to galvanize it into developing such early warning mechanisms to prevent flooding and minimize the associated losses of human lives and property. I hope policymakers from all sectors will sit up to save the country from the avoidable devastation that has become